Yeah, I'll actually give him a 10 over 10 because I
Wow,
feel
10 over
yeah,
10. Okay,
because I
okay.
feel at the beginning of the season, the
Yeah.
PSG side looked to sort of stutter at the beginning of the season. Then he turned their
Everything
fortunes around
around.
because from they almost even got out of the Champions League.
Hello and welcome back to Sideline Inside Football Podcast out of everything football related. And just like you saw on the thumbnail, we'll be talking about football managers, the biggest managers' performances across 2024-2025 season that just wrapped up last May. So we're going to be talking about everything. So we're going to be ranking them based on 5 things that will be displayed on the screen: games won, trophies won, expectations, ability to adapt, ability to cope during big moments as well, big debuts. So we'll be talking about all of these things, and I'll not be doing this alone, of course. I've got Feromi here with me. Of course, Feromi, the regular on the show. I'm not sure you need like any introduction, or do you want to introduce
Yeah,
yourself?
no need,
You're
man.
fine. So this is Femax, and so where do we start? Where do we start from? Okay, let's start with Mikel Arteta, the Arsenal manager, the Spanish man. So tell me, how do you want to like rank his performance um based on what we've already mentioned?
Yeah, if you are ranking his performance based off what the Arsenal side did the 2024-25
Mm-hmm.
season, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'll possibly give him a 6 over 10 because I felt Man City have been the major stumbling block to Arsenal winning the Premier League this particular year, and he didn't wasn't able to do that. And I feel the Arsenal hierarchy has always felt that once Man City are out of the way, at least we'll be there.
Mm.
And now a team that just got a new manager now came ahead of him and got a league title. Yeah, so I feel that's where you say he underperformed in such terms. I think although there's been a lot of the Man City side have always won them with little points. Now this
Mm-hmm.
year the points are between Liverpool and Arsenal even expanded way more. So
Mm.
there's a whole lot. But the one good thing you could say maybe it was the run in the Champions League to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
I feel it looks like it looks like there's an improvement because last season it was the
The quarter
quarterfinals
final, then the
and this year the
semi-final.
semi-final. But I feel it's a cup run and nothing eventually came out of it. So if
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal went into the Champions League, you say okay, yeah, it was deserved. He shifted his focus from the league to the Champions League,
Mm.
and I feel why I also give him 6 over 10 because of the performances in the cups. You saw him lose to Manchester United in
And
the
then in
FA Cup,
first round.
yes,
Yeah.
and then also lost to Newcastle without scoring any goal. So yeah, I feel that's what make me give him 6 over 10.
For me, I think you're actually very nice. In Mikel Arteta's campaign last season, he managed 55 games. He managed to win 30. He drew 15 and he lost 10. So that's the whole thing. And the win percentage for him was just 58.42%. So for me, I'll probably be giving him a 5. Not because I'm an Arsenal fan, so don't come for me in the comment
Average.
section. So average, because he had the opportunity to expand and invest in the last summer, but he went to sign the likes of Calafiori and Merino.
Yeah,
I don't believe those two are just the major signings Arsenal made last season. When everybody can, like, even if you're living on the rock, anybody that watches football or even hears about it
yeah,
knows that Arsenal actually needed attackers last season, and he failed
exactly.
to do that. And when even the current attackers he had got injured, he could not manage, he could not do,
Odegaard,
yeah,
Saka, and
and
everything.
everybody like that. So I think it's his fault for not really taking the opportunity he had to expand and to improve the quality of his team. And now let's look at Diego Simeone, the Atletico Madrid manager. And last season he managed 51 games for Atletico Madrid. He won 32, which is really impressive. He lost 9 and he drew 10. So what's your own take about his performance last
Yeah,
season?
personally, I'll give him a 3 over 10 because I
3
felt
over 10
yeah, because I
because
felt
of the expectation.
yes, I felt the
Mm,
amount of money the Atletico Madrid hierarchy pumped into the side. They got him a
true.
solid. They improved almost every part of their team, and
Yeah,
he still didn't.
attack.
Yes, he still didn't give them something to go into the season. So although you could say the teams that were ahead of them, they got
Mm-hmm.
knocked out of the Copa del Rey by Real Madrid. Yeah, by Real Madrid, I think in the semi-finals or so. In the quarterfinals, they got knocked out by Barcelona in the semi-finals
Final.
of the Copa del Rey. I
Yeah.
got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Champions League by Real Madrid. So you will
Mm.
say maybe those are their two stumbling blocks. for the amount of money he earns, the amount of
Yeah, I think he's
yes,
probably the highest
yes, the
paid
highest paid manager
manager
in
in the
world
world.
football.
Wow.
So yes, so that you expect a whole
A
lot
whole
of
lot
him.
from him. He should be
And
doing better.
yes, and with the attack he had, like personally, I still feel they have the best body in La Liga. They have the best set of players.
Predicted that they will finish above Barcelona,
Yeah,
and look how it turned out. So that is,
exactly.
it's really difficult to predict football.
Yeah, there was even a point they were top of the table for a few game weeks and they just slipped up. I felt there are some particular games they expected them to win and they didn't just win. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was giving me 3/10. Well, first of all, you say a whole lot of people say, oh, the team's ahead of him, this and that. But with the amount of money being invested, and I feel his play style is something he needs to go past. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
and
conversation for
kind
another
of
day.
evolve in a way
Yeah,
because this defensive style that he does this. So his percentage, his win percentage for last season just 62.75
yeah,
percent, which is even better than Mikel Arteta's percentage. So I
yeah.
think giving him a 4, maybe
No,
based
it's
on the
even a
expectation.
three. I'm going to
A
give
3,
him a three.
wow.
Yes.
So I'm giving him a 4 because because although he had like a lot of money to spend, I think he played a lot of games against Barcelona last season,
Yeah,
and
that
then
you could say that
and then
Barcelona and Real
yeah, and
Madrid.
Real Madrid, and you just like those two were really really great last season. Real Madrid maybe not so much, but Barcelona were were on fire last season,
Yeah, there
and
was
it's really difficult to go past
a
them.
game that comes to my mind is the 4-2 loss where they were
Hmm.
already two goals up and they
Yeah.
took 3 away. So yeah, I don't know, Sha, but personally I'll give him a 3 my time because I expected way better.
So now let's talk about Luis Enrique. He managed 56 games for PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, last season, and he won 42. He lost 6 games and he drew 8. What's your take on his performance last season?
Yeah, I'll actually be giving him a 10/10 because I
Wow,
feel
10 over
yeah.
10. Okay,
Because I
okay.
feel at the beginning of the season, the
Yeah,
PSG side looked to sort of stutter at the beginning of the season.
mm-hmm.
Then he turned their
Everything
fortunes around.
around.
Because from they almost even got out of the Champions League with a
Yeah,
big face. They don't have to scrape through. They even had to come against Manchester City,
City.
and
Mm-hmm.
now also play against Brest in the knockout phase before they now eventually got into the main phase of the knockout again. So yes, they actually did a whole lot. He turned around their season. Even I feel he also I don't know what he did to Dembele because the year that Dembele really sparked into light again was
Mm.
2025, and his signings he put the signings in the right places. The Kvaratskhelia deal. Also, I feel the way he walked around his starting lineup, you see the way he's starting today, Bakola starting tomorrow, and Gonzalo Ramos even still got time
Mm.
to play. So yeah, there
Mm.
was a whole mixture of a whole lot of things. And yeah, that's what I'm good. I'm with you. You saw the first buckling football he gave against Inter Milan in the Champions
Yeah,
League final.
Champions League final.
I'm winning everything.
The highest record for the amount
Yeah,
of goals.
in the final. So yeah, that's
Final.
very impressive. And I think they lost only 2 games in the league. So that's very
Very
impressive.
impressive. So his win percentage last season was 75%. And actually, let me give you a tip now. That is actually the highest of the managers we are
Yeah.
going to talk about. So I think 10 over 10 is not something that I can actually, dispute. I just have to
Yeah.
agree and just, it's really impressive what he's done with PSG. And we hope to see more of that next season as well. Now, let's talk about your manager, Hansi Flick. He managed 57 games for Barcelona last season. He won 42, which is super. The same as Luis
Yeah.
Enrique. He drew 6 as well, same as Luis Enrique, and then he lost 9. So just one minor difference. So Luis Enrique lost 8. As a Flick lost 9. Give us your take on that.
Yeah, personally, I'll give the Hansi Flick season a 8/10 because I felt personally I feel the loss to Inter Milan is something that sort of dampened the tried to put a huge cloud over the season that Barcelona already has. I'm sure.
Who are going for the treble?
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask a whole lot of people who had been on the season that we Barcelona be topping the league, they'll be telling you, say Barcelona be going to. I still remember on the show once I spoke about Barcelona getting to the latter stage of the Champions League. I still remember Mayana laughing at it, and eventually we got there because I clearly told him that I think
Yeah.
the players will push themselves. So yes, nobody expected it, and it did happen. So yes, I feel he had a good season in his first season as
he
a
did.
manager,
He
and
did.
he sparked the season that referee had. He sparked a whole lot of
A
life
whole
into
lot.
him.
Yeah.
Even Lewandowski looked like he was way past it, and he still sparked into life into him again. So yes, I feel yes, he deserved 8/10. His man management was beautiful. The type of players he even brought in sometimes. There are some particular players. I even feel he discovered the form of Frankie De Jong because Frankie De Jong was like the out of his way,
Yeah,
out
I
of
was
the
like
box.
getting linked to
Yeah,
other
and
clubs.
he still brought him in and he eventually played. And I feel this is one of Pedro's best seasons we have seen in the last few years.
Yeah,
So,
true.
so yes, I think he's an 8/10. The only minus that maybe they should have removed two was because of the loss in Inter Milan.
Milan, I think he should
Personally,
have managed that game better.
I
If it
feel he
was
should
a
learn.
certain, Diego Simeone, I think he would have won that game.
Yeah,
He just needs like needs to work on his game management,
yes.
in-game
Because
management
we have
thing.
also seen that against Atletico Madrid this season,
Yeah,
from 4-2 to 4-4 in the Copa
yeah,
del Rey
yeah,
first leg. So
yeah.
yeah, I feel he needs to learn how to coach his defense well.
Mm-hmm.
The best form of winning is attacking. So
But
hey,
well,
you can't say
you
so
can't
much
really
about
say
that.
that so much about that. But
Yeah,
it cost you, get
yeah,
from
he
getting
did.
to the final
Yes,
of
he
the
did.
Champions League. You could not get there because you could not manage that. So just I think it was just 2 or 3 minutes for
Exactly.
to the end of
To
the
get to
game.
the
Yeah.
final.
So now we're going to be talking about the next manager we're going to be talking about is Pep Guardiola, the big fish. The big fish, and he managed 56 games for Manchester City. Of course, Manchester City had like an overwhelming
Yeah.
season last season. They kind of flopped. Nobody expected what happened to them. But let me give you the stats now. He won 29 games. He drew 11 and he lost 16. I think that's like probably the biggest,
Yeah.
maybe
Loss.
loss margin that he's probably experienced
Yeah, in his
in his
career.
career. So just have to just let me know your take. What do you think happened to Pep Guardiola last season?
Yeah, I felt he overthought some particular things. He didn't also get particular players to put
Players, I
into
think
positions.
they didn't do
Yeah.
well like in the recruitment process. They
Yeah,
didn't really do
I
hard
feel
enough.
they've even done bad in recruitment for the last 2 3 years if you ask me, because they haven't sort of
We
replaced
played the likes of
yes,
Mahrez,
all those type of things.
Cancelo.
I
Yeah.
feel they've gone for the Grealish deal. I feel is still very comical. I still remember them saying, "Oh, Grealish was very hot." And I tell them, what did Grealish actually do in Aston Villa that you possibly think he was
He
a
was the
star
most
player?
hard player at
You
that
know,
time.
Mosfao doesn't really do anything. He
Yeah, the end
didn't.
product is
Yeah,
not
he
there.
didn't really have anything. So that was a very funny deal. I feel personally, I'm a huge fan of Jeremy Doku, but he hasn't really just hit those heights. And I feel the Manchester City haven't also improved their midfield. But this particular season, I don't know. You cannot say the whole talk of that it has been down to Rodri. I just felt the decline of the players was also met by a blip in form from the Pep Guardiola side. Sometimes in some particular games they just pass and pass and they didn't have any presentation. They didn't know, oh, this is what we are going to do next. Oh, that was what we are going to do. So I felt he just had to reinvent himself, and I probably think we saw the game against Villa Casablanca. They were still a little bit slow
Of course,
to
they're
my
still
liking.
trying to kind of
Yeah,
implement a lot of things and integrate a
yeah.
lot of things right now.
I felt if they played a certain Al outside, they would possibly have lost. But I felt
Yeah.
the Al outside was on their plate, and it was even still a new manager in Inzaghi. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, but that was it. Hopefully next season is better. But personally, I was giving him a 5/10. I feel it was a very very average season. No titles won. In the first time in a long while, Manchester City side are not
Yeah,
winning titles.
trophyless.
Yeah, and they got to a final. You could say, okay, maybe that could have sort of covered their season
A
a
little
little
bit.
bit, but they
But they
couldn't win
won the
it.
community shield because now people are starting to count the community shield as a major trophy. So
Uh,
maybe that is
No, for
something.
me, it's still a pre-season trophy because it's before the season begins.
All right. And now let's look at the Real Madrid manager. Okay, before we go to that, let's talk about Pep Guardiola's win percentage last season. It's just at a 51.79 percentage.
Wow.
That is extremely low
Yeah.
for a man of Pep Guardiola's caliber.
Yeah, we usually see him in the
How-
60s, 70s.
Yeah, how highly rated he is in this profession
Yeah.
when it comes to the
Management.
managers, management and everything like that. So now let's go back to Carlo Ancelotti, the Real Madrid manager, the ex Real Madrid manager now, because it's been replaced by a certain Xabi Alonso. We'll be talking about immediately after Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti managed 57 games for Real Madrid. He managed to win 37, he drew 7, and he lost 13. So what do you think kind of went wrong for Carlo Ancelotti, and how would you rate him
Yeah,
on a scale of 1 to 10?
yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll possibly give him a 5 because you could say they weren't trophyless, although they played some particular games. They played UEFA Super Cup before the season started. And also, I think the former Club World Cup now, I can't remember the name they turned this into now. They did win that eventually. But you won't say it's part of this season's achievements, personally, if you ask me. So yeah, I'll possibly give him a 5/10, but I felt he had a whole lot of quality players to actually implement. And I felt the Real Madrid side have looked lots of ideas in particular parts of the season. We have seen the initials of this one. Although Mbappe had a very good season on his own, he did a whole lot. He did so
Individual
much.
brilliance
Yeah,
and everything like
yeah,
that.
he did a whole
But
lot.
that
of-
just wasn't enough to win him a title.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
Now let's look at Xabi Alonso, the new manager for the newly appointed manager for Real Madrid. Last season for for Bayer
Yeah,
Leverkusen,
present.
he managed 45 games for them. He won 24, he drew 14, and then he lost 7. Not the invisible season that he
Yeah.
had last season, obviously. The 2023, 2023, 2024 season. So it's a bit different from what, I actually kind of expected it because I
Mm-hmm.
felt like, with the way Bayern Munich invested in their team,
Yeah.
they were going to like go all out, and they did. So I was not really expecting him to win
Do it
the
again what he did.
Bundesliga
Yeah.
all over again. But what do you think about his performance? And then give us his rating from on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, I think he actually did perform well. He
Mm.
wasn't so that far behind in the Bayern Munich particular
Mm-hmm.
season. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, you have to give that to him. He clearly knew what he wanted to do,
Mm.
and he also made them competitive. They got into latter stages in the Champions League. That's a very very good one. And he also made them. And I think Boniface, the injury, not injury, the dip in front of Boniface,
Yeah,
and maybe Patricia.
inconsistencies.
Yes, so I feel that could have affected their team. But you wouldn't expect them Bayer Leverkusen to go back to back in winning
Back to
seasons.
back, yeah.
And Bayern Munich side, they have a monopoly of the German Bundesliga. So yes, but I feel he competed well enough. He pushed Bayern Munich to a particular position until they eventually had to win the league. I think,
Mm.
but they still won it by a huge gap though. But at least he still pushed them. And I think as a manager of Bayer Leverkusen, the expectations for you are to we go to the Champions League for the first time in a long while,
Mm-hmm.
get us to this particular place. And I think he got them. They got knocked out by Bayern Munich in the they got knocked out by Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals of the DFB Pokal. They also got knocked out by Bayern Munich in the round of 16 of the Champions League. So yeah, so you could just say
Bayern Munich was the
yeah,
weapon fashioned against
yeah. So
them
you could
last
just say
season.
if they were not Bayern Munich, they could have
They
possibly
could have
gone
done
further.
something.
So yes, I feel yes, it was just the season they had, and it was personally I'll give him an 8/10 because he still competed.
Eight.
Yes,
Wow.
he
For me, I think
he
I'll
still
give him a
competed.
6 or 7 because his win percentage here is 53.3%.
Yeah,
While Carlos Ancelotti that you gave a 5
5.
actually had 50%. So for me, I think Alonso was not really, nothing special. He just like did a normal manager
Yeah.
job, like, team chasing top 4, something like that.
Yes, sort of that.
Yeah, sort of like that. So I think we're going to be expecting a lot from him next season. We're talking about that in
Yeah,
another video.
a whole lot,
A whole lot, because now this is like a whole lot of pressure and
Yeah.
everything like that. Now, finally, let's talk about Hansi Slot. Arne Slot managed 49 games. The big man now. Should I
Yeah.
say maybe the biggest man in England right now, or maybe the most sought after manager in England right
he
now.
actually did
49
well.
games. He won 31 in his first season. Just let's put that into context. In everything that he did, he achieved with Liverpool last season. In his first season with no signing, because we cannot count KSR. Like
Yeah, Chiesa didn't
he
actually
didn't
play
really
huge
play. Yeah, I think he only had just one Premier League start last
Yeah,
season.
it was
So
big
he
part.
won 31 games for Liverpool. He drew 9 and lost 9. So give like on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah,
do you think?
if we are talking about rating him based off the league, I'll
Mm.
possibly give him a 10/10 because I
10
feel
over 10.
he had a very brilliant
How about
season.
how
But
he
if
performed
if we
in
are
champion
talking
overall?
if we are giving
All
overall, I'll
competitions.
possibly be saying a 7/10 personally because I felt no, I'll give him an 8 because I felt they went out too early in the Champions
Yeah,
League. They
round
went
of
out,
16.
yeah, they went out to a certain Paris Saint-Germain on penalties. And
A certain Paris Saint-Germain because,
because
they actually went on to win it.
yes, but at that particular point, Paris Saint-Germain they went at the height they went on to achieve further on the season.
Yeah.
So I felt, and they were even outplayed by the Paris Saint-Germain side, and I was like, I still remember having conversations.
Let's add it into context. PSG kind of outplayed every other person we played after Liverpool.
Yes.
Let's put that into context.
Yeah,
They had played
for
Arsenal. They had played Inter Milan as well. So just
Even Aston Villa.
Aston Villa.
So,
they had played
but
quite
yes, they outplayed a whole lot of things. But with the way the Liverpool side have been going this season, you possibly expected a much tougher game for the PSG side. But it was in the first leg, Liverpool ran away with just a 1-0 victory, and it could have easily been 3-4-1 in that particular game. So that shows, I don't know, that shows he was sort of out of his depth in Europe. Although they finished top of the league phase in Champions League, and you would have expected that they should have been doing this, they should have been doing that. But when they met the bigger boys, it sort of faltered. That's where you personally have an issue. And also losing the Carabao Cup final to a certain Newcastle, I feel that also puts a dent on the season we had. That's why I say I'm going to give him an 8. But if we are talking just based off the league season, I think he give is a 10/10.
10/10.
He achieved all he needed without signing anybody. I think he lost only 2 games throughout the season to Nottingham
Yeah.
Forest and to Chelsea.
Chelsea.
So
Yeah.
yes, that's a very very
But across
impressive
all
one.
competitions, he lost 9.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm saying there are a whole lot of issues. Where you could clearly see when he was at a particular position, you say, oh, something was going on, especially in Europe and
Yeah.
on in the domestic cups too, because the FA Cup they didn't get so that far. The Carabao Cup, we got to the final.
Okay.
I feel a lot of things expected them to even whitewash the Newcastle side, but they didn't. So yeah,
Yeah, so I think for me, I'll give him an 8 overall because
yeah,
nobody really expected a lot from him, and he still managed to deliver the Premier League in his first season. But then we didn't really do well in cup competitions like the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. But I think that's his performance in the Premier League. And you cannot really blame him for losing to PSG, losing out to PSG on penalties. PSG are like look at how they kind of dismantle the likes of Inter Milan and Arsenal, and those teams are not pushovers as well.
yeah,
So you can just kind of give him credit for that. I think, and his win percentage for last season was 63.2%.
yeah.
So for me, an 8 is still well justified. And yeah, so do you think like it was like the overall best manager? Who do you think ruled the dugout
Yeah,
last season?
there's only one person I
Mm.
this is definitely the because what he won his second treble since becoming a manager.
Yeah.
That's very very
To
impressive.
Barcelona now.
Yeah.
with Paris
10
Saint-Germain.
years after he did it with Barcelona. So
Yeah.
yes, that's very impressive.
Very,
And
very
winning the league with the landslide, where you say PSG expected to win the league with that much
obvious.
gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way he played, having the highest win margin in the Champions League final. That you just have to give him the like I said, he's the only manager who has the 10 over 10. And the way he turned around the fortunes of the PSG, because I think I'm saying I still remember the certain guy on Twitter was talking about he's a huge fan of the one. He said he feels Monaco could go on to win the league this season. And so
Wow, okay.
so imagine Enrique turning
Unpopular opinion.
yeah,
But
imagine Enrique turning it from that particular position of someone thinking that Monaco could possibly win the league to them now winning the league. So yes, I feel it was a very impressive one.
alright, that's the end of the video. Who do you think is going to be the best manager next season, 2025-2026? Who do you think is going to get sacked? Let us know. I think I have somebody in mind, but I'm not going to say it. So that is the video. So make sure you like, subscribe, and you share. Please subscribe to the channel because we have a whole lot of packages coming your way. So as like stay updated, make sure you turn on your notification bell as well. Follow me. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for following.
And that is the video there and there. Until we come your way next time. See you later. Bye.